A quick new idea, daily, from the world's greatest TEDx talks. I'm your host, Atossa Leoni, and this is TEDx Shorts. Dignity, fairness, connection. We often associate these ideals with politics or education. But what about the economy? Katherine Trebeck is the advocacy and influencing lead at the Wellbeing Economy Alliance. And in today's episode, she explores what could happen when we bring the same principles that we expect from our educators and politicians into our economic systems.
We've got an economic system that is founded on economic growth. It's structurally dependent on growth. And I guess the good thing is that there are examples of where that economic system has delivered for us. There have been fruits of that growth. And you'll probably all have your favorite example, whether it's mothers and babies now surviving childbirth to rates that they haven't before, whether it's life expectancy rising across the world, whether it's illiteracy rates coming down, and so on. You'll all have an example where you can think about over the last decade or even the last century, things have got better. But the crucial thing is that these achievements have come about when we have used the fruits of growth to invest in our collective institutions like health and education systems, and when that growth has been used to divert it and direct it to those who need it most. But the challenge is, it is very hard not to stand here today and look around the world and think it is time to ask, are those fruits of growth beginning to rot? Because we're seeing the extent of environmental breakdown. It's an unsafe growth. We've got scientists telling us ever more loudly of the extent of the damage that we as human beings are doing to the environment. And they are pointing ever more firmly at the economic growth system as the root cause of that environmental breakdown, just at the same time as young people are coming out of their schools week after week after week and saying enough of this political recalcitrance. So it's an unsafe growth. But it's also fruits of growth that have been unevenly shared. It's an unevenly shared harvest. It's an economic system that has done too little to support those who struggle to get by each week. And it's an economic system that has done so much, though, to enrich those people who have so much wealth and the power that goes along with it, that their money will make more money for them in a day than you or I could make just working for our wages in a year. So it's an unevenly shared harvest. But it's also an economic system that is hurting us. And so yet, despite all that evidence and all those realities, we are trapped in an economic system that tells us just because the system and the economic growth that went with it may have worked some of the time in some of the places, then that is automatically the right recipe for the future. That assumption is dangerous. Same it is with economic growth. We won't meet our needs for very natural desires like decent work, secure livelihood, a quality natural environment just by reaching for economic growth, because GDP and economic growth and consumption are pseudo-satisfiers. And reaching for them more and more is actually going to undermine our chance of meeting what it is we most depend upon for good lives. A woman called Bronnie Ware, and over her decades of working with people in their final days, she grouped together their common regrets. And what people told her were that they wished they had been true to themselves. They wished they hadn't worked so hard. There's a lesson there. They wished they had been more honest and more open with their feelings. They wished they had stayed in touch with their friends. And they wished they had allowed themselves to be happier. So you bring that together and you get a very, very clear message about what we need the economy to actually deliver for us. So we all need connection, and a wellbeing economy has to be about building connection and creating the institutions that deliver that for us. We all need to participate. So a wellbeing economy has to be built on the engagement of citizens around the world and ensuring they're rooted in their local communities. We all need nature. So a wellbeing economy has to be about regenerating and protecting that precious planet that we all depend upon in so many different aspects. A wellbeing economy has to be about fairness and delivering justice in all its dimensions. And finally, a wellbeing economy has to be about ensuring dignity to everyone, making sure we all have enough to get by and we have a sense of purpose and meaning in our existence. So you bring that together and you apply it to the economy, and actually you have an economic system that tips that one of today absolutely on its head, because a wellbeing economy starts with the premise that the very purpose of the economy should be about serving people and planet first and foremost.
The TEDx talk you just listened to was recorded in Munich, Germany. All TEDx events are independently organized by volunteers who believe in TED's mission of ideas worth spreading. Special thanks to the organizing team at TEDxMünchen. Want to listen to more TEDx talks? Explore the entire archive on the TEDx YouTube channel. I'm Atossa Leoni. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.